Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our next guest is absolutely hilarious. Please welcome my friend and comedian, Allison Gill.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Thank you guys for being here so much. I really appreciate it. So I need to know, first of all, before we get started, where the single guys are in the audience, crew. Anyone? All right, good. There's no joke. I just wanted to know where you're at. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I have the best tip for you guys. I was tricked. I was duped, and it was awesome. And I'm going to teach you guys this trick, okay? Because it happened to me, and you can make it a reality in your life. I was at a college party, okay? Which I've been going to for decades, because I've been dating 25-year-olds for 25 years. So they're so easy to get, you guys. All you need is like Fireball and the PlayStation, and they flock. So I'm at this college party, and you walk in, and it's the same party, you guys. It hasn't changed for 25 years, okay? There's drinking games happening. You walk in, it's like Jenga, beer pong, Beirut, quarters, three-man, everything. And there's always like 6 guys in the corner, like engineering students who are taking hits off a 9-foot graphics bong. They named Chewbacca because it's tall. And I'm standing there, and somebody's like, "Hey, do you want a shot of Jaeger?" And I'm like, "No, thanks, I graduated." And but I'm standing there with my Jaeger, and this kid comes up to me. He's like 19. He's this tall. He's Asian. He's really high, and he's hilarious. And he's wearing a beanie because it's July. And he comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, I want to make you a bet. I'm going to make you a bet." And I was like, "All right, what's the bet?" And he's so high, his eyes are like this. And because he's high, not because he's Asian. And he goes, so he can't, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, okay, here's the bet." He goes, "I bet you $1 I can unhook your bra without touching you or your bra." And I'm thinking I'm winning $1. Because this, first of all, like he can't reach probably, he's this tall. And second, and sober 19-year-olds have a hard enough time. Do you guys remember from last week or whatever? They do. And I got 4 hooks going back here now, guys. These aren't the one hook college days, okay? This is a device. You get a hook every decade is how it works. So I'm like, I'm totally winning $1. But you guys, here's what he does, and write this down because you can use this in your life. It's amazing, it's genius. He goes, "All right, ready?" And I go, "Ready." And here's what he does. He just grabbed my boobs and then goes, "Ha ha, guess I lost," and gave me $1 and walked away. That kid is a genius, right? And I'm thinking, I'm 43. I'll take any free breast exam I can get in a Trump presidency. Come on, bring it on. So I'm excited because we don't know what's happening with Planned Parenthood. I love Planned Parenthood. I'm like a regular. I don't know why they call it Planned Parenthood, though. It really doesn't have anything to do with plans or parenthood. But I go in because I get free birth control pills, and that's awesome. And this last time I went, I'm almost out the door, and this happens to me every time. That girl who works at the front desk, the women's studies major with the vegan bangs. I don't know how else to describe her hair. She yells at me across the waiting room. She's like, "Hey, do you want to take some free condoms with you today? Free condoms." She's very happy. And there's like a sea of impressionable young women in the waiting room, so I can't be like, "No, I don't use condoms. I'll see you in a month." Hate them. I have to set an example. So I go and I get the condoms, and here's what she does, you guys. She gives you a brown paper lunch bag, right? Remember? And she puts your name on it, so you don't confuse it with the other kids' lunches, I guess. And she puts like 500 condoms in there. And they're all set to expire in like January. So I'm just like, "Challenge accepted," and I just walk out. I don't know what else to do at that point. Now I've got all these condoms I don't know what to do with. That's my line at a bar now. I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing later? I got condoms about to expire." Anybody in sales? You got to create a sense of urgency, right? Always be closing. One time she gave me all magnums. I was like, "Thanks?" I'm like, "What are you trying to say?" Can't take these to the Irish bar. I gotta go to the club or whatever. I can't dance. So now I'm like, what do I do with all these condoms? I have 1 million of them. So you know what? I figured it out this year. I figured it out. I just gave them out on Halloween. Here you go. Here. Just take one. Come on. Just one. They're flavored. Here, tell your mom to stop it. You guys have been awesome. I'm Allison Gill. Thank you.
Hey!
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Thank you for being on the show, Allison. It's wonderful to see you.
It's good to see you too, buddy.
It's always nice to have my friends on the show. I appreciate it. It's nepotism at its best, I think.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. You know Keith? That's Keith.
Hi, Keith.
Hi.
So, Allison, that was so funny. A lot people that don't know, Allison was voted San Diego's funniest woman. She was also voted San Diego's funniest person twice. Absolutely hilarious. She's a regular at all the comedy clubs. But what I think is so funny is that you kind of accidentally started comedy, right? I mean, you kind of fell into it. You didn't intend to be a comedian.
I never meant to be a comedian.
How did that come to be?
I grew up watching comedy. My dad was big into it, so I loved it, but it never even occurred to me. I was a musician forever. Since I was 3, I was a musician. So I was trying to write all these, meaningful coffee house, Jewel type songs, and nobody was paying attention to my songs. So I started writing dirty songs and weird songs, and people paid attention. Then I started telling stories in between, and I was hosting this open mic for 6 years. And at some point, some comedians had come in, and Guy, you remember Ryan Mervis?
Sure.
Works at the store now.
Big Viking.
Yeah. Alarm clock chicken guy? Yeah, that's him. He comes in and he goes, hey, you want to be on my comedy show at the Comedy Store on Thursday? And I said, I'm not a comedian. And he goes, yeah, you are. And then I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. So he defined you a comedian. You didn't even
did.
think of it at the time.
It didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
And that's how it began.
And I was
And,
like...
I mean, you have a sort of unique, I think, background for comedy. Both, the only comedian I know personally, there may be others, but I just don't know any that have a PhD. She actually has a PhD in health administration, and you were nominated for Woman of the Year for the San Diego magazine. So, very unique background. What else, do you do other things outside of comedy?
Well, now I work for the Department of Veterans Affairs and TRICARE, trying to make sure that our active duty service members and veterans get the health care they need.
Okay.
So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're a veteran yourself, correct?
Yes, I'm a disabled veteran. I was in the Navy, so hey, shipmates, what's up?
Okay. Any stories from the Navy that sort of inspire your comedy?
That would be a drinking story.
Okay.
Right? That's what always inspires
That
comedy.
sounds like the Navy.
That's what makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was in Orlando going to nuclear power school, there was a bar right outside the gate, very good place for a bar, and they had nickel beer night every Wednesday, I think it was. And here's how it worked. Beers were a nickel. You got a beer for a nickel. You get 20 beers for $1, you guys. That $1 I won from the boob grab thing, I was set up. But I'm in the place, and the way that they set it up is that they have 2 guys posted at the bathroom doors, big bouncers, and no one's allowed to go to the bathroom. And as long as nobody goes pee, beers are a nickel.
Oh my.
And the first, it's called Bladder Buster Night.
Bladder.
I would lose so bad.
Yeah.
Everyone in the bar would hate me.
Yeah,
I'm
and-
just kind of afraid that people that run a nuclear facility are drinking nickel beers. That probably doesn't sound like a good thing. But so, Allison, where can they see you next? Where can they find more comedy from you?
I would just go to AllisonGill.com or find me on social media. You can see all my shows, my calendar there on my website.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing the show. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Allison Gill, everybody. Let's hear it for her. We'll be right back right after this. Stick around.